This is your own story. Because you are from the children of Adam. If you want to understand how humanity truly began, not as a myth, not as a theory, but as a lived reality, then stay with this journey of the Son of Adam. The Holy Bible tells us that after Adam left the garden, the earth became a place of labor, sweat, and struggle. The Holy Torah describes a world where humans must now work the soil and choose between obedience and rebellion. And the Holy Quran declares clearly, guidance came down with Adam, and humanity was warned that some would follow it, and some would turn away. This is where the world after Adam begins. When Adam arrived on earth, there were no cities to welcome him. No walls, no shelter. No familiar sound, only silence. The wind was harsher than paradise. The land was heavier beneath his feet. And the sky felt distant. For the first time, Adam felt something new. Responsibility without comfort. Paradise was no longer around him. It was now something he had to remember. Adam understood immediately. This world does not forgive mistakes easily. Hunger would now teach lessons. Cold would now demand preparation. Pain would now become a teacher. This was not punishment. This was training for humanity. Adam was no longer only a servant of God. He was now the father of every future human. Every fear that would ever exist. Every hope that would ever rise. Every tear, every prayer, every mistake. It would all begin here. When Eve stood beside Adam on the earth, the world changed again. Humanity was no longer alone. It had become a family. But family brings more than love. It brings difference. And difference would soon shape the destiny of the world after Adam. Adam began teaching, not with books, not with laws written on stone, but with example, how to speak to God. How to live with patience. How to control desire. How to survive without losing faith. This was the first classroom of humanity. Yet Adam could already sense something troubling. The earth gives freely, but it also awakens desire. And desire, if not controlled, becomes conflict. The world after Adam was pure, but it was not safe. Adam looked at his children and realized a truth that would echo through history. Greater than not all hearts will choose the same path. Some would carry light forward. Some would chase the world. And this division would define everything that comes next. The children of Adam grew. And with them, the world began to change. The earth that was once silent slowly learned the sound of human footsteps. Small groups became families. Families became tribes. And survival became a daily struggle. Adam watched closely. Every new birth carried hope, but also uncertainty. Because with every child, a question entered the world. What kind of human will this one become? The world after Adam did not turn dark overnight. It changed gradually. Food had to be gathered. Shelter had to be built. Fire had to be protected. And with effort came ownership. This was new. For the first time, humans began to say, "This is mine." And with that word, a silent shift happened inside the human heart. Adam noticed how different his children were from one another. Some were calm, patient, and mindful. Others were restless, impulsive, and ambitious. They lived under the same sky, but their hearts moved in different directions. Adam taught them all the same truth, yet they did not receive it the same way. This was the first sign that humanity would never be one single path. As time passed, work divided people. Some preferred the land, some preferred movement and trade, some preferred isolation, some preferred control. The world after Adam slowly formed roles. And roles created comparison. Comparison created jealousy. and jealousy quietly prepared the ground for something humanity had never experienced before. Adam warned them gently. He reminded them that the earth was not a prize. It was a test. That strength without humility becomes danger. That desire without control becomes destruction. But warnings are easy to hear and difficult to accept. Human emotions deepened. Love became stronger. Attachment became heavier. Anger became sharper. And with these emotions came the first internal battle of humanity. Do I follow guidance or desire? The world after Adam had now become more than survival. It had become a moral battlefield. Adam felt a growing weight on his heart. He could teach, he could advise, he could warn, but he could not choose for them. For the first time, Adam truly understood the cost of free will. A parent can show the path, but cannot force the steps. The earth continued to expand with human presence. Footprints turned into paths. Paths turned into settlements. The world after Adam was no longer empty. But it was no longer innocent either. Something fragile was forming. The human future. Adam spent long moments in reflection. He knew that the choices his children made would echo far beyond their own lives. Generations would inherit not just land, but consequences. This realization filled him with both hope and fear. Hope because guidance existed, fear because not everyone would follow it. And deep inside, Adam sensed that the world was approaching a moment that would change everything. A moment where humanity would cross a line, and never be the same again. The world after Adam had now taken its first true shape. Not in stone, not in cities, but in human behavior. Adam could see it clearly now. The earth itself was neutral, but the human heart was not. As the days passed, Adam became more silent. Not because he had nothing left to say, but because he realized something painful. Guidance does not guarantee acceptance. He had shown the way. He had explained the truth. He had warned with love. Yet every heart was choosing its own direction. Adam gathered his children and spoke with a gravity they had never heard before. He reminded them that this world was not a reward. It was a temporary stop. That the soil they walked on would one day cover them. That strength fades. That power deceives. And that only righteousness survives time. These were not words of fear. They were words of clarity. The Holy Bible speaks of humanity learning hardship after the garden. The Holy Torah reflects a world where obedience and rebellion now define destiny. And the Holy Quran makes it clear that guidance continues but accountability begins. The world after Adam was not abandoned. It was watched. Adam felt the burden of generations pressing on his soul. He was not only thinking of his children, but of their children, and those who would come long after his name faded from memory. He knew wars would rise. He knew injustice would appear. He knew arrogance would repeat itself again and again. Yet he also knew something else. Repentance would be born here. Patience would grow here. Faith would survive here. Adam understood that humanity would fall, but it would also rise. That humans would forget, but they would also remember. This balance would define history. The world after Adam became the stage of human struggle. A place where every generation would repeat the same test in different forms. Power or humility, truth or desire, patience or impulse. Nothing had changed, except the scale. As Adam's time on earth moved toward its final chapters, his concern was not death. It was direction. He wanted his descendants to understand one truth above all. This world will never be perfect, but your choices can be. Adam's legacy was not land. It was not wealth. It was not rule. It was guidance passed forward. Some would protect it. Some would ignore it, but it would never disappear. Because the story of Adam does not end with Adam. It continues with you. This is your own story from Adam to today. If you want to understand how humanity reached this point, how choices shape civilizations, and how the journey of the children of Adam continues, then subscribe, like, and press the bell icon. Because this is not just history. This is who you are.